position, whatever that is for you. Allowing the hands to fall open on the lap. Drawing the shoulders back and down. Allow the chin to fall to the chest. And just draw all of your awareness into the present moment. Into the space around you. To the space that you occupy on your mat. And to the connection points between you and the earth. Taking a deep inhale. On the exhale, open them out, release. Inhale. And exhale, release. Allow the body to relax a little further, the shoulders, the arms. Drawing the awareness now internally towards your breath in its relaxed state. Just observing the movement your breath makes in and out of your body in this position. Noticing how the breath can draw you more and more present. And it can also relax you a little bit further with each exhale. Softening the muscles of the face, the eyes. Allow the hands to relax a little further, the shoulders melt down the back. And then drawing the hands into the center of the chest, thumbs pressed gently against the heart space. Draw the shoulders back and down and lift the crown of the head towards the ceiling, creating length in the spine. Bowing the head towards the hands and setting yourself an intention of gratitude for the rest of the practice. So whatever it is that you may be grateful for this evening, thinking of that thing now. Taking another deep inhale, breathing that intention into the body. And exhale, slowly release. Gently releasing the hands and opening the eyes. Going to go straight into a seated warm-up this evening. So inhale, raise the hands all the way up. Draw the shoulders back and down. Allow the palms to join together above the head. Drawing the palms down through the center of the chest, just as far as your shoulders. You're going to interlace your fingers, and on the exhale, you're going to press the fingers towards me, rounding through the spine. Head comes down between the arms, really reaching forward. Press the sit bones towards the heels or the mat. Inhale, reach towards the ceiling, keeping the arms next to the shoulders. Then on the exhale, you're slowly going to begin to lift the body up towards the ceiling, and at the same time, hands come towards the right, stretching through the entire side waist. Inhale back through center again, release the hands for a second, then reach all the way up. On the exhale again, slowly folding to the left hand side this time, keeping the arms close to the ears. And inhale back through center. And on the exhale this time, taking the palms forward, you're going to round as far forward as you can, taking the forehead down to the mat, maybe releasing the hands here, fingertips to the floor. Taking your hands onto the fingertips, looking between the hands, you're going to inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Draw the shoulders back, allow the stretch through the arms. And on the exhale, walk the fingertips forward, hand or head comes down to the mat. Slowly sliding the hands to come behind the back, interlacing the fingers. You're going to inhale, lift the body up. Draw the shoulders back and down, lift the chest, really lifting the chest and sternum towards the ceiling. Draw the shoulders back and down. And then slowly release on the exhale. Coming into a hands and knees position. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. And just slowly beginning to make some movement here on the wrists, just allowing the stretch to happen into the wrist muscles, the hands and the forearms. Maybe going as far forward as you can, really pressing the fingertips into the mat. and then slowly rocking back. Same thing, moving as far forward as you can, really pressing the whole hand down to the mat, and exhale, release. Taking the forearms to face each other and gently rocking from side to side. Replacing hands underneath the shoulders, coming into your cat-cow breath. You're going to inhale, allow the belly to fall, arch the spine, draw the chest forward, maybe looking up if it's available. And on the exhale, draw the navel in, round through the spine, really drawing the navel in, press the back and the shoulder blades towards the ceiling. Inhale, allow the belly to fall, chest comes forward, look up. And exhale, rounding through the spine, picking up the pace a little bit. Inhale. And exhale, slowly release, rounding through the spine, really press through the shoulder blades. And inhale, allow the belly to fall, draw the shoulders back, look forward. And exhale, rounding the spine. Coming back to a neutral position. From here, you're going to tuck your toes. We're slowly just on the inhale going to lift the knees, keeping the back as flat as you can. Tuck the tailbone, draw the navel in. And holding here for 3 breaths, really lifting the knees off the mat. Draw the navel in as much as possible, warming through the hands and the shoulders. And exhale, slowly release. Releasing the feet down to the mat. You can begin to make your way to a child's pose. Again, if you're pregnant here, taking the knees wider than the hips. Head comes to the mat, reaching the fingertips as far forward as you can on the inhale. And on the exhale, pressing the hips towards the heels. Just a reminder that this is a safety pose or a resting pose throughout the class. If at any point you feel out of breath or want to skip out a pose because of injury or just for any reason at all, you need a break, please come down to this pose and return to the class when you feel able to. Honouring your body and your practice, moving with your own breath. And the next inhale, realigning hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Fingers spread as wide as possible. We're going to tuck the toes, coming to our first downward facing dog. You're going to inhale, lift the knees. On the exhale, sending the hips up and back. Again, maybe keeping a slight bend in the knees here if you need to. You're going to begin to pedal out the feet, pressing one heel down and then the other, really lifting the sit bones towards the ceiling. Draw the navel in, lift. Spreading the fingers wide, pressing through the whole hand. Doing as much movement here. You can move into the hips if that feels good. Moving your shoulders over your arms into a plank if that feels good. And then slowly coming back into your downward facing dog. So again, nice bend in the knees if you need it to lift the hips as high as you can to the ceiling. Otherwise, pressing the heels down to the mat, feeling the stretch in the hamstrings. Draw the navel in, lift everything towards the ceiling. Taking 3 deep inhales and exhales in your downward facing dog. And then slowly beginning to walk the hands back, bending the knees as much as you need to get the chest onto the thighs. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Crown of the head comes forward, maybe a slight bend in the knees, looking for length in the spine here. Draw these shoulders back. And then on the exhale, fold forward. Inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up to standing. Hands come to meet, and on the exhale, hands come center of the chest. Coming into a balance pose in this position. So from here, so staying where you are on your mat, just moving so that you can see me. First option is to take the hands to the hips or to the center of the chest. Taking the weight into the left foot and taking the right foot maybe just to the inside of the ankle here, and that's enough. Staying here. If you'd like to take it a little further to the side of the shin, and then maybe if you'd like to take it a little bit further to the inside of the top of the leg. Everything pressing together, pressing the foot into the thigh muscle, and again drawing that right knee out to the side. Again, squeezing that standing leg, lifting everything towards the ceiling, feeling the stretch here into the body. Where do you feel it and what does it feel like for you? If you'd like to test yourself on the next inhale, you can raise the hands all the way up overhead. And then taking whichever version of your tree or Vrikshasana that you wish. Maybe taking the hands out to the side, you can join the index finger and thumb. And just taking 3 deep inhales and exhales here, allowing the body to come into a balanced state. Press the hips forward, draw the knee back, draw the navel in, lift the body towards the ceiling. One more deep inhale and exhale. And on the exhale, slowly release. Hands come down by the side. You're going to inhale, sweep the hands all the way up to the ceiling. On the exhale, swan dive forward again. Maybe a bend of the knees, folding all the way in. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. And on the exhale, bend the knees, take the hands to the mat and walk the hands back out. Feet hip distance into your downward facing dog. Lift the hips as high as you can, maybe coming up onto the toes. And then slowly releasing the heels closer to the mat. On the next inhale, look between the hands to the top of the mat and slowly walk the feet in between the hands. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. On the exhale, fold forward. Inhale, reverse swan dive all the way to the ceiling. Palms come to meet. And on the exhale, hands center of the chest, tree pose or Vrikshasana on the other side, taking the variation that feels best for you. Taking the foot to the inside of the thigh, just not the side of the knee. You can come onto the side of the shin if you wish. Pressing that big toe into the mat, finding your stability. Some days we have it, some days we don't. Hands into the center of the chest, finding that grounding position. Draw that left knee back. Hip forward and inhale, sweep the hands towards the ceiling, maybe opening out into your tree pose, variation of your choice. 3 deep inhales and exhales. Press the hips forward, knee back. Doesn't matter if you wobble or fall, some days you have it, some days you don't. And on the next exhale, slowly release, hands come down by the side. Allowing the body to come into Tadasana pose, mountain, lift the crown of the head towards the ceiling, closing down the eyes, pressing the big toes into the mat, and just noticing the earth beneath your feet as you stand here, your stability, your grounding force. Then on the inhale, sweep the hands all the way up, open the eyes, look towards the thumbs. On the exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. And on the exhale, right foot steps back to the back of the mat, coming into warrior 2 position, back foot parallel to the back of the mat. Inhale, windmill hands to shoulder height. Exhale, lowering the hips slightly. Inhale, flip the front palm, back hand to the back leg, reach towards the ceiling. Option here to come into your bind. And on the exhale, your left elbow to the left knee. Turn that right shoulder towards the ceiling. Your hand can come directly above the shoulder. If you'd like, you can begin to reach forward, diagonal line from the fingertips to the outside of the foot. Lower the hips again on the exhale. On the next inhale, windmill hands back to your warrior 2 position. Exhale, lowering the hips. Inhale, straightening that front leg. Lift and lengthen through the crown of the head. And on the exhale, reaching as far forward as you can with that left hand. Hand comes to the inside of the shin. And you're going to reach the right hand towards the ceiling. Again, opening through the chest. Take that right shoulder as close to the ceiling as you can. Then begin to lift yourself out slightly. Again, strong through the legs here, pressing through the big toes. 2 more breaths, Trikonasana. Inhale, hands come back to shoulder height. Turning the toes out to the side, so we're both facing forward. Hands can come to the hips. You're going to inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head, arch the spine, look up, press the hips forward. On the exhale, keeping length in the spine, looking forward, looking down, crown of the head comes forward, pressing through the heels, weight into the toes. And exhale, folding a little bit deeper. Again, forehead coming as close to the mat as possible. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, fold a little bit deeper. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, folding as much as you can. Really breathing through it, releasing the hands. You can take them to the backs of the knees, the backs of the ankles, wherever it is. Maybe a slight bend in the knees here, and that's okay. Draw the shoulders back. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, maybe the crown of the head might come to the mat as you begin to straighten the legs. Length through the entire spine. Inhale, halfway lift, all the way back up. And exhale, fold forward. Maybe the forehead comes to the mat. Releasing the hands down to the mat and slowly walking the hands to frame the front foot. Turning the foot forward or the feet forward, lowering down that back knee. Coming into a low lunge position. Onto the fingertips, allow the hips to sink. Chest comes forward. Taking a deep inhale and exhale here, just allowing the hips to sink a little bit further. Then on the next exhale, beginning to straighten that front leg as much as feels comfortable for you. Keeping the length in the spine, your back hip can be over the knee or slightly behind, whatever feels more comfortable for you. Pointing the toes towards the face, keeping the length in the spine. Really feel the stretch down the back of the front leg. If you'd like to take it a little bit further, then you can begin to walk the hands forward and eventually your forehead coming somewhere around your shin. Just allowing this deep stretch to happen, drawing the shoulders back. Inhale, coming all the way forward, planting the hands directly beneath the shoulders. Tuck the back toes, lift the knee and slide that front foot back into a plank. Feet are hip distance, hands are directly under the shoulders, fingers spread wide. Tucking your tailbone under, keeping the body in one straight line. Holding here for 4 breaths. Nice, deep breathing. Rounding through the upper back. Feel the stretch through the body. Feel the tension. Allow the heat to build. Coming back to that intention of gratitude we had at the beginning of the practice. And then from here, you're more than welcome to come through Chaturanga Up Dog if you're familiar, or you're going to lower the knees, keeping the tailbone tucked, keeping the elbows close to the body, slowly lowering the body all the way down to the mat. Hands come just in front of the shoulders. As you inhale, lift the body to your cobra. Nice bend in the elbows, shoulders drawn back. Exhale, release. Inhale, lifting to a half plank, tuck the toes. On the exhale, hips come up and back. Downward facing dog. Taking 3 deep inhales and exhales here. Coming back to the breath, finding steadiness, finding ease. Trying to find some stillness here in your downward facing dog. Staying where you are while I move my position. On the next inhale, raising the right foot as high to the ceiling as you can, pressing through the heel. Lifting to the left toes and pointing the right toes. Lift that right leg as high as you can, drawing the knee into the chest on the exhale. And try to step between the hands, top of the mat. Warrior 2 position, other side, windmill, that left hand all the way up. Hands shoulder height, draw the shoulders back, chest forward. Draw the navel in and begin to lower the hips slightly on the exhale. Taking 2 breaths here, lowering the hips a little bit more. On the next inhale, flip the front palm, reach towards the ceiling, maybe coming into your bind if you wish, lowering the hips. On the exhale, right elbow, right knee, flipping that left hand up to the ceiling. Draw that left shoulder back, lift the chest. Exhale, maybe taking that left hand in a diagonal line from the fingertips to the foot. Lowering the hips a little more, really lifting towards the ceiling. On the inhale, warrior two position, lowering the hips on the exhale. Inhale, front leg straightens, and on the exhale, slowly reaching as far forward as you can with that right hand. Right hand comes down to the inside of the shin, left hand reaches towards the ceiling, pressing the hips forward, really finding that twisted position as you draw the hips forward and the right shoulder towards the ceiling. Really draw the right side of the chest back, reach and lift. Then begin to lift out of the pose slightly, straightening that front leg as much as you can. And then on the next inhale, coming back up, warrior two, lowering the hips. Skipping the forward fold on this side, or the wide leg forward fold, we're going to come all the way down, hands to frame the front foot, lowering that back knee. And again, just allow the hips to sink here, draw the chest forward, pressing through the foot and the knee, allow the hips to sink. Two more deep inhales and exhales here, pressing the hips forward, chest forward, shoulders back. And then slowly beginning to straighten that front leg again as much as feels comfortable for you. Hips can be over the knees here or slightly behind, whichever gives you more of a stretch. Draw the toes towards the face, length through the spine. And then maybe if it feels comfortable, you can begin to walk the hands forward, maybe coming down over that leg. Otherwise, staying where you are. If you got a slight bend here, that's okay. Draw the toes towards the face. Allow this stretch to happen deep into the back of the hamstring. Inhale, coming forward again, planting the hands directly under the shoulders, lift the back knee and slowly sliding back into a plank. From here, take the knees wide to the edges of the mat, toes to touch, and exhale into your child's pose position. Coming back to the breath, noticing how your body feels. Maybe noticing how your heart beats in your chest. And then slowly dragging the hands back until you meet your knees. From here, we're going to tuck the toes and slowly lift the body up, taking the feet a little bit wider than the hips, toes face out into our Malasana, squat pose. From here, you can take the insides of the arms to the outsides of the arms to the insides of the knees. Lift the chest all the way up. Press the arms apart. You can even walk the hands a little further here if it feels good. Looking for a stretch into the hips. If your hips are slightly lifted here in this position, that's okay. Lift and lengthen the head towards the ceiling, chest forward, draw the shoulders back. And then slowly closing through the knees, taking the bum down to the mat. And slowly bring the body down all the way to the mat. Drawing the knees into the chest. And just gently rocking from side to side, pressing that lower back down to the mat and just feeling any areas of tension here. You can bring the knees a little further forward if that feels better. Taking a gentle rock from side to side. And then slowly releasing the soles of the feet down to the mat. Hands come out to the sides, shoulder height. Just slowly rocking the knees from side to side. Again, just pausing in any areas you may feel knots or tension in the body. And then maybe drawing the knees closer to the chest and doing the same thing, allowing the knees to rock side to side. Pressing each shoulder down to the mat as you do so, flowing with your own breath. Drawing the knees into the chest, hugging them in with the hands, lifting the forehead to the knees and squeezing everything in the body, all the muscles in the face for 3, 2, 1, and release. Coming into your final Shavasana, the most important pose of the entire class, where you allow the body to register all that it's just done. Allowing the mind to be completely at ease before you go back to your life and whatever happens off the mat. So just release the feet, release the hands, taking a deep inhale. On the exhale, open them out, release. 2 more, inhale. Exhale, release. Let go of the legs, let go of the arms. Inhale. Let go of the torso. Relax the eyes, the forehead, the cheeks and the jaw. Shavasana. And you can stay where you are. Take a longer Shavasana, where you can begin to move the fingers and toes. Turn the head from side to side. Bringing the feet together, raising the hands overhead, stretching through the entire body. On the exhale, draw the knees into the chest, hugging them in with the hands. And then rolling to a side of your choice. Just taking a moment here to have an intense sense of gratitude for your body and your breath, which guided you through your practice. And for whatever it was you're grateful for in your life. Slowly pressing the floor away. Coming back to a comfortable seated position. Hands in prayer in the center of the chest, bowing the head towards the hands. Setting yourself a goal or intention or mantra for the rest of the evening. And then slowly flickering the eyes open, taking one last deep inhale all the way up, palms to meet. Drawing the thumbs to the third eye point for clarity of thought, to the lips for honesty of speech, and to the heart space for the divine in me. Honors the divine in you. Namaste. As always, thank you so much for joining me.